everybody as well, so you guys can keep some of this great content that we'll be reviewing today. And we do have chat live. So chat is live. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop into the chat and Taylor or myself can answer some questions that you guys have coming up. But like I said, for anybody who is late to joining this call, my name is Deanna Haas. I am our SVP of growth for sold.com. So we like to take the time to do webinars like this monthly that talk about different ways of helping you guys invest in your business. And obviously with this being the new part of, or the first part of the year, I feel like, it's January. You see all the memes all over social media. It's like the 300th day of January, the never ending month of the year. It's just a great time to start to set like intentional goals and really look at what you're going to do to set yourself up to have your best year yet, whether it be you just got your license or you've been a seasoned agent for a while, or you just have a couple of transactions under your belt. I think this time of year is always good to kind of reflect on, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do to set myself apart? How am I going to make it so that I have a better year than I had last year, even if you had a phenomenal year last year? And so with that, a lot of things that I talk about when I host different webinars, and actually we just hosted a webinar with Tom Ferry, coach Jeff Mays. And one thing like really resonated with me, which was when you become an agent, you get your license, and a lot of people view themselves as just a salesperson. And yes, technically like you are a salesperson in your business, right? That's the role that you play. But what you also are is now a small business owner. And so I think maybe people don't really think about it or realize it that they're a small business owner, or they forget that. And so sometimes little things that come with owning a business get forgotten. And so a lot of times, like what we talk about on webinars like this are not rocket science, right? They're not things that maybe you don't already know. They're just really great reminders for yourself. And so as you think about like your business that you guys own, and eventually maybe it turns into a larger business because you grow a team, it's really understanding like what pillars do you have to have in place to make your business successful, right? Do you have a business plan? Do you have marketing in place? Like, what are you doing? Do you have logos? Like, what are the things that you need to make sure that your business is successful? And what I have Taylor here, Taylor Colton from UtilityConnect, on to talk about is your personal brand. Your personal brand goes beyond just having a cool logo, having a website, having a business card. Like a personal brand is what you represent. Like what does sometimes it's your core values, right? Like what is it that you are going to stand for from a business perspective as you continue to grow that? And I think this is such an instrumental thing to have as part of your business, because if you don't have that, and you go into every one of your meetings and every one of your day-to-day is just willy-nilly, your business will struggle and it really won't get to where you want it to be. So I've kind of set Taylor up to be able to talk about this. So Taylor, without further ado, I hand the microphone over to you so you can talk to us about, what are ways that we can really build a personal brand that goes beyond just like what's on the surface.
Yeah, of course. Well, hi, good morning. Thank you, Deanna, for that introduction. I am so grateful to be here with you guys today and walk you through on something I'm passionate about, and that is how to build a personal brand that actually matters. And my hope is that you will feel inspired in either rebranding or rebuilding or building your personal brand. As I was with The Go Giver by Bob Berg, I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with this book, but it's about a small business idea in the actual true key secret to success. And that's in your business and in your life. There are 5 pillars or laws of success that are mentioned throughout this book. And my challenge for you guys is to really see where you can apply this in your real estate profession and in your personal life, because it will change the very foundation on which your brand is built on. So let's get into it. Your brand is actually the promise of the experience you deliver to others, right? Now, I want you guys to just take a moment. You can close your eyes or just stare at the screen, but I want you to just think about the experience you're currently delivering to your clients or those around you. And if you're just getting started in real estate, I want you to really think about what you want to deliver, that kind of experience you want to deliver to your future clients. Does it actually align to who you are on the inside? And I want you guys to, if you have questions or I ask a question, please feel free to answer it in the chat, because you never know, somebody might be inspired or take little nuggets from your answers and really apply it to their life also. But I have spent years in the mortgage industry, and now as an account manager here at UtilityConnect, I do work closely with real estate agents, brokerages, property managers, and even mortgage loan officers every day. And one thing that I've really noticed is that the most successful professionals are the ones with the highest referral rates and repeat business. And why is that? Because they've built a personal brand that is not only purposeful by giving and adding value, but it goes far beyond just that transaction. It goes far beyond just that person. And that's why I really am excited to share these strategies for you guys, or to help you guys do the same. Oops, sorry. Now, the first law is the law of value. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you actually take in payment. So to go into that, I just want to tell you like a little story. Emily, she was a real estate agent in Denver who saw herself as a salesperson, which, you know, in real estate, it's how you make your money is by sale, right? But instead, she actually applied this law of value and saw herself as a guide, someone who helped people transition into new chapters of their lives. One day she had met a young couple, Jake and Lissa, first-time home buyers. They were nervous about making such a big decision, as we all are when we're moving into a home. And instead of just like showing them the houses, Emily really sat down with them and spent her hours walking them through this entire process, what to expect, potential pain points they might encounter, and even recommending a few mortgage brokers that she trusted. And she really didn't even stop there, right? After they closed on their home, you know, Emily gave them a personalized neighborhood guide, highlighting everything from the best coffee shops to recommendations to top pediatricians, because she really got to know their needs and what is going on in their life, because they were planning to start a family soon. So she even, you know, arranged meet and greets with some of their new neighbors. And that led into a month later, Jake had called her and was like, Emily, I can't thank you enough. We would have been completely lost without you. And by the way, my coworker is looking to buy a home. And I told him there's only one person he should work with. So the lesson here is that Emily never focused on just the commission, what she can gain. Why? Because she understood that the law of value is about giving more. Not that she had to, but because she loved to. It was within her core values. Giving is not a strategy, it's a way of life. And when you give more than you take, there's actually a lot more profit that begins to happen. So here's just a reflection that, you know, again, you can answer in the chat, but it's what's one way you can add unexpected value to your clients that goes beyond the transaction, or maybe even unexpected value that you can just add to those around you. And I know someone mentioned, what was the name of the book? It is called The Go-Giver by Bob Berg. I read this in one day. Yeah, it had me hooked from the very beginning. So if you haven't read it, please get it. But to get back into it, the value is where it starts, right? It's where the magic happens. And that leads us into the second law, the law of compensation. So the law of
Just gonna
compensation is that your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. The story here is Mark had been in real estate for 3 years. He had been struggling to grow his business. He was always chasing leads, spending time and money on advertising and marketing, thinking that that's going to grow his business. One day he attended a seminar, and after that seminar of providing value first, he decided to take a different approach. Instead of chasing the clients, he started a free first time home buyer seminar at a local coffee shop. And every month he invited people to come and learn. No sales pitch were included, no pressure, just valuable information for free. And at first, only a few handful of people showed up, but over time, word spread. Within a year, his seminars were packed, and he became known as the go-to guy for first-time homebuyers. But what really paid off for him was the people who attended his seminars didn't just become clients. They referred their friends, family, coworkers too. And, 2 years later, down the road, Mark wasn't just closing deals. He had built a network of raving fans. And a network is so important. A network doesn't have to just be your clients or family, but these are people who trust and value you because you lead with integrity. So, lesson here is that compensation isn't always directly proportional to how many lives you touch. It is under your control to determine your level of compensation. And to simply put it, there are no limitations on what you can earn. If you want more success, find a way to serve more people. And there's this quote that Martin Luther King Jr. once said, and that is, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. So I just want to ask you guys, how can you increase the number of people you serve in a meaningful way?
Yeah, this is such good information too, because, as we think about how this ties into soul.com, right? Most of the clients that you guys get connected with soul.com are truly extremely top of funnel clients, right? They're the tippy top. And so a lot of the feedback or complaints from agents like you is these people aren't looking to sell. Like, this was a waste of my time. And it's kind of thinking about this piece of, yes, we're all salespeople, right? But part of our business, again, is that branding piece. Like, we have to have those conversations and look at these as introductions. And so as we talked about, like in the previous slide, like value, a lot of these people are just looking for a home valuation today. When you go into those meetings, go make a friend, right? Go in there and just learn about their house, learn about them, learn about what they like to do, learn about what they did over the weekend, help them understand what their house is worth. And yes, ask them as part of that conversation, like, hey, Joe, if you don't mind me asking, like, what had you interested in your home value? And they may have a very defensive response, right? If they just say like, oh, I'm just curious, that they're not in the phase of talking about that yet. But we know that these people will eventually go off and do something. And so it's a matter of just positioning yourself to be the person that they eventually choose when they are ready, but not scaring them away. So like this branding piece is so important. Of obviously none of us are in this business to do it for free. It's too hard of a business. We'd be doing other jobs if we wanted to just make money. This job is really, really hard. But the people that are good at this job, as Taylor was talking about, is people who create these networks, people who create these relationships with people where they start to get referrals from other people. But if we think about our own experiences as consumers, the best consumer experience that we have is somebody that didn't feel like they were selling us anything. They were just talking to us. They were just providing value. And like, we want to, as consumers, continue coming back to them. And if it isn't that type of a transaction, we want to help their business by providing them with friends and family who could utilize them. Like, I tell my anybody I know about my tax guy. So if you need a good tax guy, he is located in Arizona. I live in California. If you need a good tax guy, like he is the best tax guy out there, especially for jobs like this. But again, I talk about him constantly. But so these are like little things to make sure that you're utilizing to make sure that you stand out, because most people don't operate their businesses this way. They operate it very transactional, operate it on a human level. And if you can implement just already the couple of things that Taylor has talked about today, like you will be able to like really set yourself apart and capture more business.
Absolutely. So that actually leads us into our third law, which is the law of influence. So your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's interest first. And with all other laws, I have a story. So Sarah had a client, Adam, who was desperate to find a home before his wife gave birth. He had already put in an offer on a house that seemed perfect, but when Sophia read through the inspection report, she noticed some serious foundation issues. She could have stayed quiet. After all, if the deal fell through, she wouldn't get her commission, right? But instead, she called Adam and told him the truth. She was like, "Look, I know you love this house. I love this house too for you, but I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you what I see here. I think this could cost you thousands in repairs down the road. And I personally do not want that for you. And knowing that you have a baby on the way, we all know babies are not cheap." So months later, yes, he was disappointed, but he was grateful because Adam did walk away from the deal. And Sophia did lose the commission then, but a few weeks later, she actually found them an even better home, one that was safe, sound, and ready for the growing family. She also looked into it, led into a great school district. It was also close to Adam's work. And she knows that Sophia loves her coffee in the morning, and Adam can't make coffee to save his life. So he knows he needs a close and great coffee shop down the road. So these are little things that she took her time to understand about her clients. And she wasn't thinking about just commission at this moment. What she was truly thinking about was, how can I serve these clients? How can I provide value to their needs? So months later, Adam had wrote her a glowing review, and over the years, he sent multiple referrals her way, including his boss. And his boss was relocating and was needing to buy or was looking at multi-million-dollar homes. And the takeaway from this is that by embodying the law of influence and changing your focus from what you can get to what you can give is where your career transforms. Because when you place other people's interests first, your interests will always be taken care of. Always. So another question for you guys to just think about, and again, answer it in the chat, because you might inspire somebody else, or they might, really value what your input or what you're saying. Is, when's a time that, can you think of a time, or if there was a time when putting someone else's interest first led to an unexpected opportunity that you didn't know was coming?
Yeah, I think this, like, as we talked again about, like, I talk a lot about the top of funnel of our leads, Taylor, with our network. And again, I think the biggest complaint is, these people aren't looking to sell. And so if we think about with the consumers that you're talking to, if you are going out for just a home valuation, just like that's what's in it for them, right? Yeah. Like if you guys can come in there and give them that home valuation, and like something else you can add too would be like what can I do to help you increase the value of your home? And I know sometimes I get feedback from agents. So like, I don't know that. Like, I don't know what they can do. There are some obvious things, right? Like making a couple updates throughout the house that don't have to be wildly costly. But you can make, subtle little suggestions that we all know, like little things that would help them, that they feel like, wow, what a great tip. Like, wow, I never thought about that. Wow, I never did this. Like at a recent conference, I spoke to an agent who was talking to a client that came to them with a cash offer. And they were like, hey, I'm thinking about going with this cash offer. I think the numbers, and maybe I'm wrong on the numbers, but like we're $700,000 is this cash offer company's going to give me. And the agent's like, hey, if you do like $20,000 in repairs, I really think I can get you like 850, 875, or 825, 850. That's what she said. And they're like, I don't really think, like, what do you like, what repairs? So she started like going down a list of all these different things that they should do. And they're like, no, I just don't think I want to do that. I think we're just going to go with the 700,000. And so the agent came back and she's like, I'll buy your house for 700,000. If you're willing to sell it for 700, I will do that. Like, I want to be able to help you, but like, if that's what you want to do. And the consumer was so like didn't understand. They were like, well, what do you mean? You're going to buy my house for 700,000. Why would you do that? She's like, because I'll buy your house and then do that work. Like, I want to show you all the different things and what you can do. So that like changed their mentality. And she did wind up, like, true story, wound up getting the listing. This was actually in Southern California. And she wound up getting the listing and then selling that house for $885. So, and they only wound up putting in like $13,000 of work. Obviously, like that's a lot of cash offer scenarios that you guys could use as an example, but it's going the distance and talking about like things that they can do to their property, like give them some investment of like, hey, sometimes even making the statement of, even if you don't work, tips on what you can do to be successful. Taylor, I know you mentioned that you were in the mortgage industry. I was too years ago, but a line that I used a lot was, hey, even if you don't utilize me, I want to make sure that you're getting a good deal. Like, this is what I can do for you. But if you're getting quotes from other people, give them to me for me to at least review. If they are a good offering, I'm going to tell you to go with them. If they're not, I'll at least be able to break this down and tell you a better route to go, and maybe tell you where you're like, where they're putting in extra fees, where they're putting in extra points. And I would get like so much business where in some cases I was a higher interest rate, but they still went with me because they liked the honesty and the approach that I had. It felt like I had their back. Yes, obviously I didn't make any money by just reviewing their estimates that they got from people, but utilize like a lot of extra value that you guys can continuously provide for free. And you will see business come back to you. This can be really, really true for sale by owners. Most agents hate for sale by owner clients, but the NAR stat is that 93% of for sale by owners fail and wind up hiring a real estate agent. That's an astounding stat. If you are trying to target for sale by owners, which you should as part of one of the pillars of like your business, go in there with a for sale by owner offering to help them sell their house on their own, totally for free. Give them contracts. Hey, I saw you were selling your house for free. Here's some contracts that I know that you're going to need if you do decide if this house does sell. Give them tips on like, hey, what you might want to try doing is X, Y, and Z. Selling a house, as you guys know, is not as easy as putting a sign in the yard. The reality is they do not know how to work with clients. They're going to sell that house for less. They're going to get offers for less than what it's worth. And they're going to be so thankful for all the information that you gave them, that you have now positioned yourself to be the person that they list with when they ultimately fail, because they are always in this dream world. But that is as it relates to this, like that is a huge tip in working for sale by owners. Go in there offering to help them sell their house by themselves. And ultimately, we know that they are going to fail and that you will be the person and they might ask you, well, why are you doing this for free? My hope is that in the event that you decide you don't want to do this anymore, that I might be somebody that you consider you're listing your home with. Don't hide the fact that you have a business offering for them. And so, yes, definitely do things. Read comments in here too, because I see people putting some stuff in chat as well, kind of resonating with that. But don't solely think about the what's in it for me. Think about the long-term game, because that in this world, Taylor had mentioned network, pipeline is huge. If you can create this pipeline of people, you will be unstoppable in this business.
Yeah, I mean, especially if maybe all you service is California, but somebody is moving to Texas and you've built this pipeline of network and these people trust you and you trust them. This is where referrals happen. This is where integrity comes in play, because who you are on the inside is who you're going to portray yourself on the outside. And that's a tell all.
Yeah, there's too many people that are out there in any industry. They're just trying to take people's money. And so if you can just start to like put just the doing the right thing at the forefront of like your brand as a business, like you will see that take off.
It will be fruitful and multiply. So that actually brings us into our next law. And it's the law of being authentic, right? The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. And in this book, something resonated with me so much is what you're selling is actually yourself. You're not selling a home. You're not trying to list the sale of a home. You are selling yourself. And this is why it's important. Who you are on the inside is a reflection of who you are on the outside. In one of the stories, again, is that, David was struggling as an agent because he felt like he had to be someone he wasn't. He felt like he had to work more to be valued. And he memorized scripts. He followed aggressive sales tactics and always tried to be the perfect agent. But deep down, he hated it. And I know some agents that had this mentality and they were like, you know what? Being an agent is not for me. And they give up. But one day after he lost yet another client, he decided to just drop the act. Instead of pretending to be, slick, fast talking salesman and really not getting to know their clients' needs, faking it basically until you make it, he leaned actually into what made him unique. His background as a former teacher, right? He started explaining the home buying process, started explaining the details of the home, of why a listing should be this versus being undersold, right? And he started to educate his clients rather than just selling them on it. And when he had met a couple who was so overwhelmed by the market, they had worked with plenty of agents that did not have their best interest, he didn't just show them houses. No, he taught them how to read these contracts, how to spot a great deal, how to negotiate like a pro. And by the end, they weren't just happy clients, they felt empowered. And you know what he did? He did it for free because he wasn't thinking about what's in it for him. And eventually, these clients came back as his client. And, that shift changed everything for him. People started to gravitate towards David or people like him because they could feel that he is authentic. And when you're authentic, your business grows. And that lesson here is that your true authentic self isn't about a curated image. It isn't about, taking pieces of other people and trying to, be them, but really deep to your core, it's not who you are. And it's really about aligning, again, what makes you on the inside, how you are going to show up on the outside. And when your heart is in the right place, it's focused on service, it's focused on integrity and purpose. And that is something that people can feel. That is something that people gravitate towards. And an interesting fact that I read in this book is that, no matter what area you're in or what your skills actually are, you are going to be the most important commodity. And reaching any goal or reaching any level of success takes 10% specific knowledge and skills And the other 10%, and the other 90% actually is just people skills. And sometimes people are like, what are people skills? Like, I can actually be an awkward person, but that's just what makes me who I am, you know? But the core foundation of people skills is who you are. It's that simple. And just really the whole thing about being authentic is it all starts with you. Your career, your business, your branding, it starts with you. And maybe it's as I'm going through this, there are probably some things in your life or who you are that you're like, okay, maybe I need to reflect on that a little bit because it's not who I want to be. But that's the beautiful thing is that we can all change and we can all learn from other people. Like in the chat, you know, reading some of y'all's comments, there is something that you are saying that somebody else is taking away from this that is really resonating with them on the inside. So just a reflection question is, what is one unique strength or personal trait you can bring to not only your business, but your relationships that no one else can? Because I don't want you guys to focus on the negative. Focus on what is your strength, and your purpose will align when you really play into what your strengths are.
Yeah, 100%. And I like that you said, Taylor, like, sometimes we can all be awkward and like, be just different on however we're interacting in different social situations. But I think like when I train and hire new people into our team, obviously there are top producing people on our team and there are people that struggle and people always want to like mimic and mirror the top producing person. And I'm sure as most agents do, right? They know the people that are the top producing agents in their areas. But at the end of the day, like be authentically yourself. If you are sassy, if you are funny, if you are just a little quirky, like be that person because ultimately people buy whatever product that you're selling, whether it be real estate or anything else, from people that they trust and people that they like. And you can tell when somebody's not being authentic, even if they're being nice to you. You can tell that like that's fake niceness and I don't like it. But again, like if you've been on enough of my webinars, you'll hear like the dumb stories that I have, most of which are around dating. And it's like, be yourself. And until I got old enough, right? Like I've shared in in the last webinar, like I got married at 39 years old. And I think a lot of that was because there were some frogs that I had to like go through in order to get to the right person. But beyond that, if I think about who I was trying to represent myself as in my younger years, I was not authentically who I was. I was trying to be who they wanted me to be. Now I am authentically who I am. And I think that's what allowed for me to have better relationships, as I got older. And so this webinar obviously is not about my dating life, but you can take that into your meetings that you have. Like go in there. If you are a sassy, like strong, like person, talk that way to people because they will authentically want to know who you are. Obviously, you may have to pull back if maybe you use language in your personal life that maybe is not suited for everyone. But at the end of the day, like be yourself as you're talking to people, as you continue to create your brand, like be authentically who you are, no matter who that is, because people are buying you and they don't want a version of yourself that's not truly yourself.
Absolutely. So that takes us into just the last law. And once again, these are just pillars on how you can incorporate building your brand or how to rebuild it. Because, like I mentioned, it all starts with you, who you are. So, the law of actually receiving it's the key to effective giving is also staying open to receiving. So I won't go into the story on this one, but when you're open to receiving, let's say somebody did give you a lead and this lead isn't ready to buy or they aren't ready to sell their home. it's being grateful that you actually received this lead, because this person actually might not be ready right now, but because of who you are inside and out, because of your brand, what you stand for, your integrity, they might refer 3 other people who actually are ready to sell. So you never know what actually the people you encounter, you never know where it's going to lead you. And that's why, once again, your brand has to be based off of who you are on the inside, and what you portray on the outside is going to be a tell-all. And the lesson here again is just giving and receiving go hand in hand. If you pour into your clients or you pour into other people around you, don't be afraid to let them pour back into you. Don't be afraid. Like, we are not made to do everything on our own. We have had resources and platforms provided for us to utilize. And I just think that is very important to allow that help. And just thinking about it, where are there even opportunities in your life where you've given freely but hesitated to actually receive in turn? You know, how can that change for you?
Yeah, I think that's great. A lot of people were saying, like, what's that? I'm totally blanking on the book that was really, really popular back in the day. And I can't remember what it's called, but it's just like putting it out into the universe, right? Like Sophia put in here, like the universe knows who accepts and who denies things.
The power of becoming.
Yeah, it's something like that. But yeah, there's so many different things. And like there was a comment in here on the chat that I wanted to call out of, a lot of this stuff sounds like common sense, and it 100% is, right? Mm-hmm. Like I think we started the webinar with that of, hopefully none of this stuff is like, oh, I never thought to put other people's like goals in front of my own. Hopefully this is all more of reminders for everybody, because I think generally in our business and in our life, we forget the basics. And sometimes like these conversations, these topics are great ways to kind of bring us back to center and maybe help us realize like maybe how we've lost like our way on things, or maybe even just as we build our brand, like haven't been thinking about these different pieces. Like I think especially as real estate agents, we get very focused on our outer brand, the car we drive, the business card that we're going to have, how does our website look? And we care so much about that like outer brand, because there's so much that goes into that, right? Especially when we watch all these reality TV shows that have people dressed to like the nines and like designer clothing. But even something as basic as, again, the car you drive, like there's so much judgment for a real estate agent around that car. But ultimately, like there's so much inner stuff that's required to be successful in this business. And if you can, like, whether you know these things, you've never heard these things, or just needed a reminder, like if you can implement these things as part of your business in 2025, it will really revolutionize what you guys do. It is, again, just that reminder of, as you're talking to people, remember, like, what is it that you want to portray to them? Who am I going to be with every single client that I talk to? Like, what do I represent? Create, like I said, you're a small business owner. Create core values for yourself. Like, what is it that you're going to stand for? And maybe as part of your presentation, that's something you go through, right? When I talk to partners from a sold.com perspective, we talk about like our core business values. And that is something I talk about before I go into anything about what sold.com does and the value that we can provide to them. But it is about like who we are as a business, which leading into the further conversations helps them understand like, okay, this is a business I want to align with. Yeah. Because there are plenty of businesses and I can speak to, again, from a sold.com perspective, that their product sounds cool, but it's not a business I want to align with. And so how many times are you potentially talking to people and thinking too much about your side of things, what you can get out of this relationship, versus truly figuring out what you can give to that relationship, which will ultimately help you receive in that relationship, right?
Yeah.
Somebody gives and gets and get arounds. But yes, none of this stuff should be rocket science. A lot of this stuff should just be general reminders of what should you truly be doing to create a personal brand that stands out in this industry, because there are so many people that do not think about these things at all. All they are thinking about is, how can I get my next paycheck, and not thinking about the deeper ways that they can do that to help create a bigger brand that goes beyond just a nice business card and a nice website.
Yeah. Short-term gain.
Yes.
Did I say that right? My words sometimes start combining, so I'm sorry. So this is just a synopsis of what, you know, Deanna has already said, was that, you know, it's not just about being remembered, it's about being unforgettable. That value you add makes you unforgettable. And I am here to tell you that the true key to lasting and fulfillment of success is actually just giving advice, giving ideas, you know, taking your knowledge, what has made you successful, taking your knowledge and spreading that to everyone around you, spreading it to, you know, new time real estate agents or family, friends. That knowledge is power, and that makes you what's powerful and makes you, you know, successful, is that you actually give freely. And, you know, that brings me into, you know, it's all about building your trust, delivering your value, serving with an actual purpose. And when you do that, your brand, which is you, becomes unforgettable. And as Deanna mentioned, I, you know, work with UtilityConnect, and we are a free home service concierge. We assist your clients, again, for free in locating their utility providers and getting all their essential home services set up and connected. And we all know the home buying process is not cheap. So what better way to add more value than thinking about the things that your clients are going to have to tackle at the end of the transaction? Thinking about, how can I save my client more time and more money, and in one phone call, by getting these home services set up and connected, having your client's best interest in mind, and also locating their utility providers. I know a lot of agents themselves, they do all that legwork for their clients, and they can leave it up to somebody who they trust, they value, that are always going to take care of your clients and follow up with your clients, you know, months after the transaction. You know, we're here for your clients, not the providers. So I think that's really important, and it's another tool, a value added tool that you can add to your arsenal, to help your clients and think of the things that they didn't even realize they'll face eventually. So with that, this concludes our time today, but I appreciate each and every one of you for coming to this. And again, whether it's something that you knew already or didn't know, or maybe there are a couple things that stuck out to you today, or from what I said, or from maybe another agent that is within this webinar, you know, you are creating a network now. You might follow up with somebody in the chat that, you know, gave a great advice, and you're like, you know what, I kind of want to learn more from what they experienced, and they'll help you. So it's adding that value more. So I challenge everyone this week, take one of these laws and just apply it to any area of your life. It doesn't have to just be business. It could be in your relationships. It could be at the grocery store when somebody ran over your toe with a cart. That happened to me the other week, and I was just like, you know what, it's okay, I wasn't paying attention. She's like, I'm so sorry. So you always just, you never know who you're going to impact, you never know who you're going to run into. So thank you again, and I hope to hear from some of you guys. My information is here on the screen. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And if you want to learn more about how to create a UtilityConnect account and how you can add this value to your clients, again, please reach out to me.
Yeah, and I wanted to add
that.
I wanted to add that too, Taylor. So, like I said, Taylor is part of the UtilityConnect world. And so if you guys haven't heard of UtilityConnect, it should be something that we've talked about: giving, receiving, giving back, all that kind of stuff. Like UtilityConnect is something that every single agent should have as part of their business. I have no skin in this game, but it is the reason why it helps is it will make it so that you guys are able to have a streamlined process for your clients that makes them feel as though you guys did something amazing for them. Like moving is a hassle, right? I just helped my mom move in July, and I was the UtilityConnect because I, to be honest, didn't know that UtilityConnect existed. So I transferred over all of her internet services, all of her utilities that she had, some of which I'm in Southern California, switched over from Edison to San Diego Gas and Electric. I had to figure out who gets her trash, who pays for her water. Is a nightmare. And so UtilityConnect does that all for your clients. But as we talk about giving something and getting something, this one is actually where you have an upside. So when you refer UtilityConnect to your clients, it is totally free. So you could actually go through your flow and actually just make it part of your business model of, hey guys, and as part of working with me, this should be part of your listing presentation. Of part of working with me is I will also handle all of the moving services that happen afterwards, transferring your utilities, your mail, all of those headaches I will do for you through my personal concierge. You then go onto the UtilityConnect website. And so I'm just going to showcase it right here. First, you need to activate. Let me make sure my screen is showing because there might be a little bit of a delay. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right one because it might just be not doing it right. Okay, here we go. This one. Okay. So all you guys will do is, so in this link, you guys can go here, activate your free account, fill in your information. You guys will get a personalized landing page that is catered to you. You guys will have your own domain name and everything. And then you can go in there and add your client's information, or you can send it to, like, you'll be able to send your clients to your personalized web page. This site specifically is for you to create your sold.com page. So you've seen a pop-up come up of start referring your clients. What I want to make sure that is not missed on this is you guys will make 15% revenue share off of what your clients utilize. So this is, yes, it's helping your clients. It's making you look better, but it also is going to make you some extra money. How I met UtilityConnect was actually at a conference. We were in the booth right next to them. And I heard one was, I love you guys. You guys are great. My client loves you. Or two is, oh, my clients never utilize you guys. I always send them your way, but nothing ever happens. And what would happen is they'd go, oh, let's look into it. They pull up the agent account and they go, oh, I actually have seen your clients are utilizing this. Did you know you have $300 in here that from your referral fees that you've had? And I'm like, wait, no, I had no idea. Yeah. So those were the two things I constantly heard. This is a no-brainer to add to your business. It's totally free. It makes you look good and you make money off of doing it. Make it part of your business flow to send your clients to UtilityConnect, like through your own domain. Like you can say it's through my concierge, fill it out for every one of them. It'll take care of everything for them. And then again, there is an upside for you for doing that. So yes, you're doing something great for your client, but you also will make money off of it. So a couple ways that you can do this and take advantage. In your sold.com portal, you can go to your marketplace tab and you can go click on the UtilityConnect tile and click on activate your free account. That will allow for you guys to create your free UtilityConnect designated website. You'll be able to add your logos, your photos, everything on there. It'll give you your own personalized domain name. Super easy steps to go through and create it. Like I said, all you have to do is put your email address in here. You'll put your contact details in there, and then it'll pop up your domain name. And again, you can either send that domain to your clients as part of your flow, or what I would do is I would just do that myself for them. And again, you'd have a different page. You'd be sending them to your domain. So that is one way, or you can click on the pop-up that I put into the webinar experience, which sits at the top of chat as well as at the bottom, saying start referring your clients. If you fill out that information, UtilityConnect can create your websites and stuff for you. So Taylor, I will send that information over so that we can create that really easily. But that should be something that every single person does as part of their business, and offers this to their clients, because why not? It elevates your business immediately. Like Taylor said, a lot of you guys are doing this manually for people anyway. And now this allows for them to have this concierge, which makes your business seem so you guys will get an email afterwards with all the applicable links as well. But if you have any additional questions, again, you can go to yoursoul.com portal, and that portal sits at agent. Let me get that, make sure I get you the right one. Agents@soul.com. And that's where you guys go to update your referral statuses and things, and click on marketplace, or easier yet, click on the pop-up that I have on the page, start referring clients, fill that information out, and start being able to offer your clients a really cool service that allows for you guys to level up everything. And again, make some little extra money on the side, because money does get made.
I just want to tie in real quick, Deanna. I know there is a huge misconception with our name being UtilityConnect. So agents think that we can actually directly set up and connect to your client's basic utilities, their electric, water, gas, trash. We are available in all 50 states, but all 50 states besides Texas is a little special, but they are heavily regulated when it comes to basic utilities. So these providers for the electric, water, gas, trash require to speak directly to the homeowner or the renter to establish these services. However, this is as an extension of our already free service. We do take the time to locate who your client's actual electric, water, gas, trash providers are. And then we call the providers. We verify that information is accurate, and then obtain the easiest way for your clients to simply establish these services. Whether it's a phone call they need a call, we provide that phone number. Whether they need to visit a link to get their trash service set up, we provide that link. So that's an easy one-stop shop for them to not only know who their utility providers are so that they can simply and easily establish those services, but also set up their home service. So their internet, TV, cable, phone, home security, these are services that we can directly set up and connect with your clients. We work with all nationwide providers. So our job, again, is to take our time to get to know your client's home life needs. Do you have a son that is a gamer? Okay, well, here are all the, internet providers available to their property address. And here's all the, the plans. I do recommend this plan since, you do have some gamers in your house and you might need more, I don't know, gigabytes. I think that's, or I don't know the term for it, but we always educate them on these plans. And at the end of your clients hearing their options that fit their needs, that are not, overpaying for something that they don't need, your clients choose the provider. They choose the plan for us to set up and connect. And we have direct access to the provider portals. So we're able to create your client's accounts and schedule their installation dates. Let's say a closing falls through, right? And it gets pushed back. And your client has already set up these services with us. All they have to do is give us a call back in. They don't have to call the individual providers, and we'll take care of the rest for them. We'll make sure their installation date aligns with their move-in date or whatever date that they want. So we value your client's customer service experience, which is why we always make it about your client. We're not here for the providers, but for your clients.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's a really great service because, again, it just simplifies things. Add it as part of your listing presentation that you offer this, because all it is about standing out from competition, whether you're talking to a soul.com client or anybody. I did include
in front of your clients too.
Exactly. Yeah, because you guys will have your own setup domain. And so it just kind of continues to elevate everything. In the chat, I did link the account or the website where you guys can go and actually create your UtilityConnect accounts. And then that's where you can set up everything in there. But yes, if you guys have additional questions, Taylor, do you want to address in the chat?
I'm sorry, say that again.
You want to pop your email address into the chat so people can reach out to you. And Taylor, correct me if I'm wrong, as part of the soul.com relationship, like you are the person that they talk to.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so it's always great to face the name as you're working with people. So Taylor will be the account representative for all agents on the soul.com platform. So any questions that you guys have, please contact Taylor. And we hope to do some more of these webinars moving forward to really continue to help add more value to your business. The recording will go out as well, and I'll send this link out in email too. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Taylor, thank you so much for all the insight.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope everybody has a good rest of your day and rest of your week. Thanks, everybody.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.